Hello, this is Rebecca Halvorson with the Oklahoma Quarters Association. I'm here today with Gil Galyean, and of course, Gil needs no introduction, but just to name a few things that he's done, he's NSBA's first $1 Million Rider and in the NSBA Hall of Fame. He's served as an AQHA Professional Horsemen's Committee. He's also served on the AQHA Animal Welfare Commission. He's a past president of OQHA and NSBA. He and his wife, Becky, own and operate Gil Galyean Quarter Horses. Gil was the 2018 Professional Horseman of the Year, and of course has multiple AQHA All-American Quarter Horse Congress and NSBA World Champion honors to his credit. And Gil is just one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet, and also my friend. Thank you for being here today, Gil.
It's very kind. You're very kind.
So just to start off with, Gil, we want to talk about, of course, how you got to where you are today. So if you could tell us about your upbringing and your path of becoming a successful horse trainer.
Well, I was born and raised in Northwest Arkansas. My father, Kenneth Galyean, was a trainer, horse trainer, and lived there. Did all of his training there in a little town of Halvorson, Arkansas, right in the corner. And we just sort of grew up in it. Of course, my brother Jody is, he's been a trainer for several years, and he's slowed down some now. But it's just sort of our way of life. I kind of thought about some different things after graduating from high school, but ultimately the horses called me back, and it's. I'm glad I did. I still enjoy it to this day, but it's a job that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of staying power. But horses, I guess, just from the fact that we were around them with Dad, and I think it just opened doors that I was lucky to have. Unless I could see all aspects of it, and when it came time, look, you've got to make a choice on how to make a living. I guess the love of horses and training and developing horses came through for me.
So when you were growing up, and you and Jody as boys growing up in the horse training field, did you think that you would become a horse trainer?
Not too much in high school. It was more of, I got to go do this. I got, Dad, come on, and so I don't know. I probably didn't give it a lot of thought till maybe my senior year in high school. Jody's a few years older than me, and I was watching. He was having a lot of success showing, and so you just being in that close to seeing it. I think graduating. I did attend college for a year. Trying to think if maybe there'd be something that would draw my interest, but I think just the family having such a strong influence on me is what continued for me to pursue the occupation.
Gil, what made you decide to more or less specialize? I know that you do a lot of things, and you do lots more than Western pleasure, which you're amazing at, but what made you go into that field primarily?
I think it was just, probably it was a little bit just customer oriented. We, as we were coming up, a lot of clients had a passion for that, and serving our clientele certainly played a role in it. I did a lot more cutting back 15 years ago than what we do now. Becky still does some, but that it's just the ability to serve our customers, and got to a point where, you couldn't be highly successful in cutting and highly successful in the show horse world, because it just, things were different than what they were a long time ago. And so it really came, well, okay, you're going to have to focus on something. Well, the need to make a living and, make the mortgage payments and do that along with, and I really like it, it's always been a little bit, the pleasure horse for me, and the way a horse travels, the way a horse moves, that's always been something that has intrigued me. And, and I think part of why you see a lot of riders get a lot of enjoyment that maybe, don't have, have the time or the capabilities of doing other events. And so seeing them get rewarded and be able to show, I think was something that I found rewarding to me.
Ronnie. Well, as being a past president of the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Association, what do you feel is the value of being a member of Oklahoma Quarter Horse?
I think there's probably several reasons, but I think the camaraderie that it, lets you be around people that share the same passion, and obviously the year-end awards and the shows that are sanctioned by Oklahoma Quarter Horse Association. I think it provides a place for people to go show and exhibit their horses, and then achieve goals that otherwise, if we did not have this association, they wouldn't be able to do. And the fellowship you share with fellow exhibitors, and not just I'm not just speaking of the open people, but the non-pros, the amateurs, the youth. I mean, it all, we're very lucky to have it, and I think without it, that's an opportunity that wouldn't be provided.
So Wayne always tells me this is a loaded question and I probably shouldn't ask it, but I really enjoy it, so I do anyway. So what are a few special horse or horses in your career?
Gosh, I don't know. There's been some. There was a horse called Mac Dudley that was a buckskin gelding that was, probably one of the early on horses that did real well. And I can do this. And I was pretty young, The Invitation was the first horse I won the Congress Pleasure Futurity on. Later on, Cool Crimson Lady, Suddenly a Cool Lady. There's been good. There was a cutting gelding named Mr. Murata that we did good. And then Becky showed some too. And he was really a special horse too. He's won the Congress a couple times on him. And so that would be a few to name. Sure would.
And some awesome horses for sure. So if there had to be something that nobody really knows about you and that you could tell us here, and I guess we could say Becky could know it, but if there's something that you could share with us that would maybe surprise us, what maybe would that be?
Gosh, Rebecca, I don't know. I should have thought about that one a little bit more, I guess. I probably would have liked to have been a professional football player. I guess that's something.
Really?
It didn't work. Yeah, I don't. There's probably a few other things I'm not thinking of right now that would answer that question, but I definitely chose a better path.
Oh, for sure. Be healthier anyway, right?
That's exactly right. That's right.
So since I'm passionate about football, as you well know, since you and I discuss football every time we get together, what position was your favorite?
Oh, I don't know. Probably watching the quarterbacks play. I enjoy watching that a lot. Wide receivers, the skill positions. Although I didn't play, I was a lineman in high school, but probably as far as watching it, I like watching the skill positions a little better than I do.
You and me both. And since our boys are right there, I get it. Well, Gil, thank you for being here with us today. You're just a great and wonderful gentleman, and always so gracious. And every time I call, you're so humble and do anything I ask. So I appreciate you taking the time to interview with us today and support Oklahoma Quarter Horse, which you are a great supporter of, and of course OQHA and NSBA and all the associations. So thank you for being here.
Really appreciate that. I do, and one thing I probably didn't touch on, the history of the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Association is just amazing. And, when you look at the list of Hall of Fame horses and people that are in it and influence they've had not only in Oklahoma, but, in the American Quarter Horse Association, it's just astounding. There's probably no other state that can boast the history that the Oklahoma Quarter Horse has. So we're proud to be members, no question.
Well, thank you, Gil. Appreciate you.